Evening VC, Dave, and we're going to do mail call. Yep. First record, Tibetan and Bhutanese Instrumental and Folk Music, recorded by John Levy. This is volume 4. I believe there are only 4 volumes, so this is the last volume. On Lyricord in stereo. Basically field recordings throughout Bhutan and Tibet by John Levy, and this sounds absolutely incredible. There's a lot of different things here. On side A, you got the Bhutanese Dromyon. It's a 7-string lute that's being played by Gete Dope of Talo, and it's killer. There's some lute playing at the beginning of this on side A, and then there's folk songs, some singing near the end of the side 1, and then it ends with a dance with drums. Fantastic side A. Side B, you move to Tibet. They also play the Dromyon there, the 6-string lute. Fantastic. And then their folk songs are more female oriented at the end and are great. Beautiful voices. Very I spun this the other night. It's kind of hard to describe. Very unique to the region, obviously. But really fantastic stuff. I've been looking for this record for a very long time. I think this is one that probably John Coltrane 68, Chris Cole got in my brain from one of his videos. So this one popped up in St. Louis at Euclid, and so it's here now. That's how that goes. Next, this record arrived from the man. That would be Lucas Liska. Works at People's Records in Detroit. He is a professional trumpet player and big-time collector of Blue Note records, and I ended up getting this record from him. This is Root Down, Jimmy Smith Live on Verve and Original. This is heat of the utmost. I mean, the first track on side 1 is absolutely just killer. They throw the hell down. The guitar player on this, Arthur Adams, just slays on this record. Some of the best guitar playing I've ever heard in my life. I mean, and then Root Down, of course, on the B-side that opens that is, been sampled by the Beastie Boys. So, yeah, real funky, just total groove action on this record. This is, I really love the album The Boss on Verve by Jimmy Smith. It's like his Allman Brothers record. And there's some Blue Notes where he had the big cast of characters, but this one might be my favorite now. This is absolutely freaking killer. So thank you, Lucas. Next, we have a record that took almost a year to arrive. It was a pre-order. It was pretty exciting that this was being put out. And the thing that sucks is it's volume 1. There's going to be a volume 2. I don't know if I'm going to want to wait another year for the pressing plants to, get the stuff caught up after putting out 500,000 copies of Adele. But this is Uncle Ronin 1. Here it is. Took in eternity. Tim, High Noon's Vinyl, and his buddy down in Orlando also ordered it, so I'm hoping theirs arrived finally. But one thing that is cool is this comes with an autographed postcard from James Lavelle, who is Uncle now. Used to be him and DJ Shadow, and then really kind of became him and Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age, or Homie, or however he says his name. But this is featuring a lot of different musicians. Will Malone's on here. try finding that record. Michael Kiwanuka's on here, Philip Shepard. There's some big names that are featured here. So, Uncle. God damn, I can't believe it's here. Thank you. 8-pound, 6-ounce baby Jesus. It's a Christmas miracle. Next, what did I do? I went into Repo to get some sleeves. Found this record in the bins. This is a freaking mint copy of Ray Charles at Newport, stereo press. Not a first pressing, but I think like a second or third press, 1962 press. Dead mint. I mean, this is just, and I didn't have any Ray Charles at all in the collection, so I figured we'd start here. And rule of thumb, anything at Newport or at Montreux, either of those jazz festivals, the musicians up their game huge, because that was, you know, where you're going to be seen by labels, where you're going to be seen by the elite. And yeah, that's going to be great. Next, speaking of Chris Cole, this is one of his recommendations, and it was under $10, so I had to get it. This is Jean Charles Capone and Christian Escudé, Les Four Elements, the Musica Records label from France. This is an original from like 76, or I can't remember the year, but it's got that Rick Ballard Imports sticker on it, so that's a no-brainer purchase. Whenever you see Rick Ballard, it's going to be good shit, because he only brought in killer stuff. But this is just Gene on cello and Christian on guitar, but then you have sitar and tablas in the mix. So right in my wheelhouse on some of the things I'm listening to. So that's a very cool, cheap record. Next is a record that Dom at Seeking a Thread had shown in one of his videos a while back. And I've done a deep dive into the ESP Disc label. I got this book that was written by Jason Weiss, Always in Trouble, An Oral History of ESP Disc, the most outrageous record label in America. Of course, the label from New York City, started by Bernard Stolman. And I have read all of what this book is just interviews. Interviews with Bernard and interviews with the musicians by Jason. And he was able to obtain a lot of original photographs by traveling the world and finding the people that took them back in the late 60s. And this is fantastic so far. I think maybe into chapter 10 or so. I've gotten through all the interviews with Bernard Stolman, really cool stories from him. And then I've started on the interviews with the musicians like John Chikai and the like. And I thought the interviews with the musicians would be more interesting than the interviews with Mr. Stolman, but it's quite the contrary so far. But I got a long way to go. But you learn about the records in here too, kind of in passing in the interviews. It's interesting. Fantastic book, just cheap. Highly recommend. Some great stories in there too, like Emmylou Harris would not have started writing her own songs if it wasn't for like Bernard Stolman giving her that nudge to do it, just at random. Also that the Beach Boys stole a song from Charles Manson, because ESP Disc put out the Charles Manson record, and renamed the song, and the association is Charles Manson. It didn't come out in court, but he was a major cocaine dealer to some famous people, and there were too many famous people that he was dealing to that they didn't want to have named out in court. So that got kind of swept under the rug. So, yeah. But the Beach Boys sang a Charles Manson tune. Think about that. But back to this record, we got Gods, the Third Testament on ESP Disc. Some of this freak folk, anti-Vietnam stuff that was going on ESP Disc back in the day. And this is an original from 1968. And the reason I picked this up also is because in the book, the owner talks about how this band, who all worked for him at ESP Disc, every member of this group was part of the label. They'd get in fights everywhere they went, like fist fights. Pretty fucking cool. The Gods, Third Testament. I need the other Gods records, but they're more expensive, so we'll see how that goes. And then also on ESP Disc, this gem of a record, Karel Valeny from Czechoslovakia, SHQ, and this is a sealed original copy on ESP Disc from 1969. Gorgeous vibes on this, saxophones. This is a killer record. This is probably one of my favorites I've ever heard on the label right here. I cannot believe there was a sealed copy out there. I think the seller's got another one too, which is crazy. This is a wonderful LP. Highly, highly, highly recommend. And it has this motherfucker on the back playing the flute, and it's upside down, goddamn buck naked. Just hanging, everything hanging out. Oh, and the cover, this wasn't staged. He was in a car wreck. That's Karel Valeny right there. And they went and took a photograph of him in the goddamn hospital bed. That's just one of the coolest album covers you're ever going to see. Keeping with ESP Disc, the first that they ever put out, this is an original mono from 1964, I believe is the year, in Cantu and Esperanto. And Esperanto was originally going to be the name of the label. So this is a very historic piece. I've only listened to a little bit of this online. It's kind of all over the place. A lot of it's non-music. So yeah, I need to spin this. This is going to be an interesting listen. But there was only one copy I could find on the internet at the time I was looking. So here it is, and it was ridiculously cheap. It was like 20 some bucks to have the first ever ESP Disc release, because they did release a lot of things other than music. Some comedy albums, they released some, just all kinds of stuff. But yeah, this is a cool one. Franz Jager, Duncan Charters, and Julius Balbin were involved in this. That's the ESP Disc stuff that's come in. Next, I'll show you some VCLT that arrived from the one and only Telegram Sam out of Portland. And she sent me this 7-inch on Sub Pop of Duma, with Canis backed with Mukinya. This is a crazy freaking band from Africa. I think Kenyan. And why Sub Pop put them out, who knows? But they have a full length that's got an amazing album cover. And I learned about this band from oh god, Stunty. Stunty played some of their full length. It's wild shit. That's all I know to say. Heavy, wild, fucking scary shit. Duma. I dig it. So I'm very happy to get this. Thank you, Sam. You can't find this stuff around here, so it's on this kind of clear orange wax. So maybe Sub Pop will put more of their stuff out, because their full length is like $100 all day. Hard to find. There's not many copies available because the cover's so killer. And she sent a nice note. Hey Dave, I'm glad this is going to a home where it will be appreciated. Love your videos, and I've been going down an X rabbit hole. Enjoy the 45, Sam. Yeah, the X, great freaking band. I mean, I haven't heard anything I don't like from that band, so that's going to be one hell of a rabbit hole. All right, and then last but not least, this arrived today. It took a long time to get here, from Spain, and that is on the B-Core label. This is Madee's new record, In the Cold Season, limited to 300 copies. It's got an interesting, like, the album kind of slides out of its cutout. cut out. And the record is, let's see, boy, that's tough coming out of there. Silver. Limited pressing. Real nice piece of wax. I'll leave a link to a video for the last track, which was the first video they did off this record, oddly enough. And it is definitely a closer of a song. Gorgeous song. The lyrics are an actual poem, so it's my friend Ramon singing the lyrics of a poem. And then the drummer on this record is Antonio from Morn. So Ramon has stolen him from the band, and that's just how it is. But Subterranean Minefield's a beautiful song and a killer video, the 12th song on the record. But Ramon Rodriguez from the new Ramon, that band as well. But Madee, he sings in English. The new Ramon, he sings in Catalan. But long-time band on B-Core, and happy this arrived safely. So that's just kind of getting everybody caught up in here and what's going on around here. Peace.